Hey everyone, before I start this video, I want to say that I officially am part of the DBD Creator Program. Couldn't have done this without you guys checking out my videos and watching my streams, so I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you all, and I'm very happy to get to continue making content for the game, and with the help and motivation coming from the game with my inclusion to the program, I'm only going to continue going stronger. So for you, and for the game as well, thank you. Now on to the video. So the current DBD meta feels pretty awful for Killer right now, to say the least. Every team of Survivor is running mostly the same perks every single match, some group of second chance perks, primarily Dead Hard, Decisive Strike, or Shoulder the Burden, usually paired with a couple fast tracks, hyper-focused stakeouts, and maybe Deliverance or 5 moves ahead sprinkled in. All of that paired with the current palette density.
Also, yeah, can we just talk about how there are two One, two. Takes you 2 seconds to get between these two pallets, and both of them are safe.
Map rotation, sending you to the same 5 indoor maps, with the occasional Crotus Pren map, or the never-ending Toba Landing Nostromo wreckages. And only ever going to Macmillan or Autohaven if it means specifically going to Suffocation Pit or Resting Place. Killer doesn't feel great right now. Not many survivors are playing for fun. Outplaying one tile means they reach another, and generators are flying off of the shelves, and yet for some reason, each hook state still takes 70 seconds instead of being nerfed back to 60. Playing any killer below the upper half of A tier just feels miserable. And a lot of those matches are starting to feel like you're facing perks more than you're facing people. For the Survivor players who want to run to the comments and say, but that's like saying Survivors are facing powers more than they're facing a killer player. I want you to sit there and I want you to think for a moment. Does any killer have a power where when you fully complete a generator, the killer can actually undo half of the generator and make you do it all over again? Except they can do that 3 different times simply by pressing one button, with no prerequisite. Do any killer powers allow them to skip a chunk of a hook state by staring at a survivor for like 10 seconds? Now swap the sides and understand there's 4 survivors who have 4 perks each, and you are physically incapable of knowing what they have until they use it. Where Killer can have 2 gen regressions and 2 chase perks, survivors as a side entirely can have 6 gen speed perks, 4 second chances, and 2 information perks per match. Most of the time the gen regression does 20% maximum at a time, which mostly gets undone in a couple seconds anyway. But regardless, intro rant done. Hi Kosu, I'm Psykosu. Want to learn how you can make the most current Survivor meta perks break? Well, think about this. What do the most common perks on Survivor's side require? Getting hooked. Decisive Strike, Dead Hard, Shoulder, Fast Track, Deliverance, as well as a few meta outliers like Will Make It, Resurgence, Kindred, technically made for this, and a few other perks, require the survivor or other survivors to be hooked for them to activate or get any value at all. But what if the killer just doesn't hook? For this build, we're going to equip Color Phobia to make healing skill checks harder to catch, Infectious Fright to get information out of slugging, Forced Hesitation to help catch nearby survivors when attempting to slug, and for the last perk, I'm going to offer 3 ideas and you can pick which one suits your wants the most, as this build can be run on any killer just as long as you're good at chasing. Trail of Torment. Stakeout builds stacks off of your terror radius. If you don't have a terror radius, Stakeout cannot build stacks. This perk is mostly for killers who aren't stealth. Nurse's Calling. This lets you know if anyone is trying to heal your slugged survivors. Good information for this build. Or Sloppy Butcher. This one slows down healing of slugged and injured survivors, so overall makes it harder for them to stop you. Those perks could also go over Forced Hesitation if you feel like you're not getting enough value from it. The general goal of this build is to not hook a single survivor until you've got all 4 survivors on the floor. The only real counters to this build is Unbreakable, We're Gonna Live Forever, Circle of Healing, or Exponential, which, while are kinda common perks, aren't being run as much right now in favor of the stronger Generator or Second Chance Chase extension, or information perks right now. We're going to do a couple different matches of different killers to showcase the build and playstyles so you can see what you can do with it and just how much it truly disables the current Survivor meta. However, I do want to add, there shouldn't ever be a meta in which one side is forced to play in a way some would consider boring, unfun, or linear, just to mitigate a couple abilities that hold enough power to skew a game if used only a couple times. The current game's perk balancing needs to heavily be looked at, as well as pallet density and unhook timers. With the way future updates are looking right now, with Blight and Nurse receiving long-needed nerfs, I hope to see the rest of the killer roster be able to thrive. Alright, enough yapping, let's slug. Alright, so for this first match, we're going to be using the entire build with Trail of Torment on Kaneki, who is my main. And we're going to be running Coffee and Satchel, just because I'm a cutoff fiend, and we're going to be running, you know what, that's Survivor Pudding, just throw on the Beloved Party streamers. And yeah, let's get into the slugging. And here we are, Gas Heaven. Okay. Not an awful map to get. At least it's not Resting Place, you know? So we're going to try and find our first slugging victim, which seems to be over here. No. Boop. Alright, and you see that we get that infectious fright value, so we know that someone is right over here. Unfortunately, I think I got a high ping server, so my leaps are going to be a little delayed. Unfortunate. Yeah, it's 40 ping. Oh well. Okay, we get the bite to fight the bump. We're gonna see what we can do here. Maybe I can go for a cutoff. Nope. Minimum distance screws me over once again. You're gonna drop that. You greet it, and you die. Okay, we reveal no one with that, unfortunately. But we can get Trail of Torment value. So because I downed them at the main building, it's possible they might be on that generator now. There you are. Alright, that's another one down. He got picked up. He was over here somewhere, and they still are. I saw that bird go up. Unfortunate. Gotta break this pallet, and we're gonna go over here. It's interesting that I haven't seen any of the other survivors besides these two yet, and yet they've been picked up a couple times. He grades it once again. Hi, Nancy. Alright, you try to walk in for some reason. I believe this is the Tai Young. Okay, another pallet in this corner down. That's good. The Ace and the Rick are not healing. So basically every pallet in this corner has been dropped, you know, all, like, 8 of them. And you don't really have much of anywhere to run to. I just get a quick down. Still have Trail Torment value. I get a quick vault off of that. This isn't a window, so you go down. You kind of ran into a dead space, so get you. I went right past that pallet, and I did not want to. Oh, you're gonna go for it at any moment now. You're gonna go for it at any moment. There we go. Are you kidding? Okay, you're over here. I see you. I see you with my eyes. Once again, you're running to the dead zone. If I had to guess, he's going to be going for... Yep. And they're all disconnecting. They know it's over. Am I stupid? I am. He's going to greet it. Yep. And it's over. And now we just hook all of them. Now, another thing you might need to worry about is if any survivors unhook themselves, but that's really only going to happen if there's only 2 survivors remaining. But because of the way Deliverance works, they won't have any chance to use it. There you are. Found you. Up you go. Another useless team against a cringe and bad killer. Typical solo queue. No skill killers every match being made good by bad teammates. You knew where we were all the time. Enjoy the report. Okay. So, I'm recording this while editing. This guy ended up DMing me on Twitch Whispers after I finished recording those matches. And I'm just, like, I'm baffled that he's just so dead set on me hacking despite having probably the most obvious information perk and just basic game sense. Is this what Survivor players are like nowadays? Alright, for this next one, we're going to be running Trickster, and we're going to be running Nurse's Calling on this build this time. So, as a reminder, Nurse's Calling lets you just see whenever anyone's getting healed, and that includes downed survivors, so it's going to let us kind of catch people trying to stop our slugging. We are also going to be running Iridescent Photocard and Ripper Brace on this build. Alright, Freddy Fazbear is a withered-eyed, awful, horrible, evil realm anyway. Survivor spotted. Okay. Good. Oh, she stayed here. Ah, man. It is truly unfortunate that my first chase has to be at Shack, but at least we have Shack down at 5 gens. That is always something. You know what? Let's go for you two. I just have to hit all my blades and you're injured. I am pulling out my blades a little too much. Okay. Oh my god. Hi! And... boop. Alright, there's someone in this corner over here. Once again, we are at Shack. And there's a fog vial. Don't quite know why. We can kind of hover around the downed ace, though. Let me break this so I kind of keep some rank. Ooh. Okay. I'm unfortunately missing so many shots. Ah. Tragic. You are not who I was chasing. Okay. I need to reload. There's you. Alright. Oof. You just barely escaped that down. However, I think I do still get you here. Eventually. Alright. No! Ugh. Oh my god. They are spacing out quite a bit. Once again, we're at Shack for the 4th time this match. Okay, that's an injure. Get on this generator, we can push him away. There you are. Gotcha. He's running so far. Is that Sprint Burst? That might be Sprint Burst. Maybe that's why I've been kind of struggling to get this guy. Alright, that's another one. Oof, they're all over there. Okay, that's 2 injures. And Michaela got the ace, it would seem. They were in this corner. The ace seems to be self-carrying. Okay. Ace is close to bleeding out. If Ace bleeds out... Oh, he DC'd. So it's a bot. If the Ace bleeds out, then we get some good pressure for the rest of the match. I feel like we can kind of camp out on Fung as well. Let's break this so that we can conserve a little bit of our rank. Do the same for the generator. Michaela and Talita healed, but Ace, I think, bleeds out because of that. Rank up to B from breaking the gen. Okay. Ace is dead. Alright, we have some pressure. Alright. Fortnite coming in clutch with this Talita right now. Alright, and there is Michaela. And she gets main evented point blank. And this match is over. Now we can hook. It's as simple as that. There was definitely struggle in this match, but just the fact that they don't have like enough gen speed or any chance to deny my ability to hook them because I'm just not hooking them or extend chases further than they need to be, I'm able to just play more normally. Aside from the fact that I can't hook. Way to go. Thank you, Ace. Yep. Dead Hard. Deliverance. Dead Hard. All of those just couldn't be run because I simply just didn't hook anyone. Alright, and for our last match of this video, I'm going to showcase the sloppy butcher version of this build on Ghostface, who is kind of notoriously one of the worst killers in the game right now, and unfortunately his upcoming buffs are not really going to do a lot for him. But maybe this build could salvage him in some way. So let's get to it. Alright, here we are as Ghostface on the Trickster's Delusion. We're gonna immediately stealth, and we're gonna look to see if we can find anyone working on a generator, and okay. Alright. Seems everyone's here. Got the David. Yinjin has forced Tezzy. That's unfortunate. She's falling for it. She's falling for it. There we go. And maybe we do... Okay, right there. Boop. This is actually a really good map for Ghostface because of all the stealthiness. She's going straight for Mr. Taeyong over here? No. Okay, she lets me get that. Not running nurses anymore, so I don't get to see the visual on them, but I do know where they are. They didn't go very far. Yinjin is back doing this. Body blocking for the David. David might be going for the pickup right now. He is. Does he get it? Nope, Taeyong is running away for some reason. I don't hit him. Just barely out of reach. I do hit Taeyong there, though. Looks like Yunjin went for the Claire, which is very good. Taeyong's back up already. Ooh, you're going this way. Pre-drops the pallet and runs to a window. This map is very window dense. Okay. She doesn't look behind her. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but this Yunjin does not look behind her. So she might be easier to mind game later. Unfortunately, everyone got fully healed, but David is still half stock, so he's technically injured, you know? It kind of counts. It kind of counts as being injured. I kind of got startled. Oh, but he ran into a wall. He lost, like, all of his speed up right now. Someone's in basement. Are they doing an invocation at a time like this? Taeyong's not anywhere near here because he just picked up the Yinjin. Claire goes down. We're gonna break this pallet, so that's not a problem later. I made a mistake. Never mind. Mistake resolved. Everyone has a lot of stock going on right now. They were trying to pick Yunjin up. There's Claire. This might be what sends our match to victory for us. Yeah, she's picking him up. Okay, that's good. That gets me the force Hezi value. She's running quite slow right now, I believe. Or maybe she wasn't. Ugh. Unfortunate. Okay, she doesn't have We're Gonna Live Forever. Seeing David got the Taeyang. They are getting pretty consistent pickups right now. But I'm also pretty consistently putting them back down. Taeyang gives up. He gets the abandon off the double down. So does Claire. There you are, you elusive David. Alright. And I don't think I trust a bot to consistently go for not cutoffs. What am I saying? I am too ghoul-brained. I don't think I trust a bot to consistently go for pickups right now. So this is fully banking on this bot just appearing somewhere. Oh. Yep, there you are. Come here, let me get you. And there we go. There you have it. The 4-man slug build. It definitely works. It definitely makes a lot of second chance perks and generator perks currently not do enough. Honestly, Claire's gonna get hooked. All the rest of them are just gonna bleed out, like back to back right now. There goes David. There goes Yunjin at the same time. Taeyang. 3, 2, 1, and the game's over. All right. Probably the longest match of the 3 that we played. Let's get the hatch points. And yeah, if you want to deal with the meta, just slug. That's kind of how it is right now. Lame way to go, but it works. Indeed. So as you can see, slugging is simply just a world where all of the perks I've talked about today just don't exist. And if it's the only way to play the game without worrying constantly about gen speeds or if you're gonna get hit with DS or dead hard, then that's just how it's gotta be until better perk changes are made. As I said before, I don't like that this is the only way to truly counter a lot of these perks, but it's all we've got right now. Against a good squad of survivors, this build and many other builds probably still won't work. And that's simply because there's so much protection for survivors at the moment with current pallet density. Unfortunately, all this build does is deal with the perks. If there's a good chain setup, you may not be able to pull off a lot with anyone other than Blight and Nurse, even after their upcoming nerfs. Advocate for better perk changes and fun matches over being funneled into needing to slug every match. Because if Survivor were truly balanced, killers wouldn't need to play in these ways. And that's not me saying there's only things on Survivor that are OP. I'm not pulling an us versus them like a lot of people do. I'm simply saying one side has a lot more hand-holding than the other right now, and it's piling on top of itself to a point where there's only a couple of killers that can truly handle the current meta. But I digress. Until next time, I am Psychosu, and goodbye Kosu.